Welcome to this BVTV Spotcast trilogy, coming to you from the UK studios of BizVision. I'm your host, Malcolm Gallagher. My guest today says that a personal brand is the most intentional, authentic, and compelling representation of your life, values, and passions. When you capture who you are, what you stand for, and what you can offer in a reputation that is influential, inspiring, and impactful, you'll realize the power of controlling the narrative of your life and career. My guest is the author of this fabulous book, this great book, Control the Narrative, The Executive's Guide to Building, Pivoting, and Repairing Your Reputation. So let's go meet the author of Control the Narrative. It's Lida Citroën. Hello, Lida.
Hello, Malcolm. Thank you so much for having me.
I am enthralled with this book. We'll tell the audience why when we get into our chats there. And it's a nice weighty book too, as well. You know, good value. Now, whereabouts are you today?
I am calling in from Denver, Colorado, in the United States, where it's really beautiful here today. I'm always in Denver. It just seems to be a hotbed of entrepreneurism. We do have a lot of that. I think people are motivated to find a way to enjoy the lifestyle here. So we try to come up with innovative ideas to stay.
Right, I got you. Lida, having been involved in reputation management within the travel and hospitality industry for over 40 years, I know the importance it is to companies, but you have a very important and different angle, and that is someone's personal reputation. Now, across the trilogy, let's explore it and start with episode 1. Can you help my audience understand the need to protect their personal reputation, and how should we start that protection? What are the first steps?
Well, I think what we're seeing in this day and age with information coming at us at warp speed, and some of that information is misleading or not complete or malicious, is that reputation has become a prized asset of our career and our personal life. So if we're not mindful about what our reputation is, and we're not proactive about protecting the way other people view us, we could find ourselves in a very tricky spot. What I love about Control the Narrative is it addresses somebody's concern, whether they haven't really thought about their reputation and they want to build it, whether they're making a shift, which I call a pivot, or whether they have a reputation crisis and they need to repair it. So there are many steps that we take to manage our reputation, or we should be. And the first is knowing that you have to do it, right? Being aware that your reputation is out there. People have a perception of you. They feel a certain thing about Malcolm. And either that feeling is positive and Malcolm's getting a lot of opportunities, or the feeling is negative and they're withholding opportunities. But we have to know what that perception is, and putting content out there, being visible. You know, you and I were talking before we started filming about the idea of self-promotion. And for a long time, there was this belief that if I just do a good job, people are going to understand that I'm valuable. But the marketplace, wherever you are in the world, has gotten much more complicated. We can't just rely on other people to see us and value us the way that we hope. So we have to be proactive about that. And that is also, being proactive is the best way to thwart a reputation crisis.
Yeah, I'm with you. It sort of reminds me that, out of sight, out of mind happens. You know, absence doesn't make the heart grow fonder. It's out of sight, out of mind. So that visibility there. Do you think that in this busy world that we've got with social media, though, that leaders struggle to understand the need for that visibility?
I think what they look at is sort of the quote unquote influencer marketing, right? The Instagram influencer. And they think that's what this is about. But it isn't about, necessarily being famous. It's about being known for the things you want to be known for. So if you're a subject matter expert, that's one thing. But if you just want to be known as hardworking and dedicated, well, join the club, right? I mean, everybody does. And so I think it's being visible for the right things with the right audience. And that's the other part of personal branding and reputation is not everyone's going to love us. Not everyone is going to find us interesting and attractive and valuable and compelling. But some people need to in order for our careers to grow, whether those people are clients or investors or stakeholders or our staff. Those are the people we focus on. The other people, if they happen to like us or find us valuable, that's wonderful. But we don't focus on them. And that's where the principles of personal branding kind of go back to the idea of commercial branding, right? Which I did for 20 years. When you have a car, you have to think about who's the target market for that car. Not everyone. So in personal branding, we also have to think, who's my target market? Who are the people that if they see me the way I want to be seen, will give me opportunity? They'll promote me. They'll invest in me. They'll support me. They'll refer me. That's our target audience. And that takes self-promotion down to a much more focused approach.
Yes, I'm totally with you. Now, I like the way that in the book you give practical guides to it. It's not just telling us that's what we need to do. You're actually showing us how we can do it. What's your sort of favorite lesson that we can finish on episode 1 with about building a reputation?
I think if we stay in the context of social media for a moment, the biggest advice is Google yourself. Know what shows up online attached to your name. And I share so many stories in the book of people who didn't realize somebody with their same name, maybe even in their same industry, had a very bad reputation or had done some really bad things. And there was sort of that association connection being made by people who just Googled them. So they had to proactively make amends to that. But know what's out there. Ask your network. What is my reputation? What do you think I'm known for? And what type of opportunities would you refer me to? And see what they say. That could reveal some amazing opportunity, but also some blind spots that need to be addressed.
I'm going to squeeze one extra one in. I've got another minute. I love another part in your book where I've done exactly the same myself. You say, you might need to purge your network. What do you mean by that?
I think once we connect with somebody online or in person, we sort of believe that, now we have to stay connected. But if you think of your network as an association that your reputation is attached to, if that person is doing things either that are bad or that just don't align with your values or the way you want to be seen, it might be time to make a decision about whether that connection stays. And I happen to love diversity of thought, diversity of opinion. I love diversity in my network. And I have people from all different backgrounds and opinions. But when it crosses a line that makes me uncomfortable or I feel could impact the way I'm promoting myself, I either have to have a conversation with that person and ask if this is going to continue, or I have to disconnect. And if we think about that kind of hygiene approach to our network, then we're much more strategic about who we connect with as well.
I am totally with you. And if people don't match what I consider to be the values that I've got, that I was given to us by my parents, for example, then bye-bye. Thanks, Lida. Now, let me remind our audience of your URL, your website address, which is, obviously, viewers, you can see it on the screen behind me, but for listeners, let me spell it out for you. It's Lida, which is spelled Lida, Lida, Lida 360.com, and 360 obviously in numbers. So all the W's, Lida360.com. Your book is called Control the Narrative, The Executive's Guide to Building, Pivoting, and Repairing Your Reputation. And talking of that, it's published by a company with a really high reputation. It's great books from Colgan Page. In these days of multimedia watching, it's watching you all the time. There's no hiding place, and your reputation matters more than ever. Lida's book is, I truly believe, here at the right moment with the right advice. Please watch episodes 2 and 3 of her trilogy. Thanks, Lida.
Thank you, Malcolm.